Our lives are a beautiful book. But then, it's as beautiful as you want to make it. And that's the gift we have been given. That's the freedom. That's the divine gift from the gods. This ability to be able to capture all these photographic movements in our life. And then at the end of the day say, I went through this beautiful play, now it's done, goodbye, next one. I keep repeating, we're immortal, we're never going to die. I don't know how many more bodies I'm going to have, but I know that I'm not going to have another body like this one. And this one can walk, can talk, can move. Next time I may not have an able body. So let me do as much as I can while I have this body and learn more of the spirit to guarantee my kind of insurance for the future. So anyway, accepting pain as helpful purification. Because isn't it true that all of you have gone through so much pain and that's why you're sitting here looking for something better? Something deeper. Without the pain, you'd just be flitting around. Isn't it true? Mm-hmm. There must be more to this than in life. There must be more to this. So pain actually, when you sit with it, wow, you're really grateful in the end because it's your best teacher. Best teacher of all. It shifts consciousness. It takes you from this unreal world of grabbing, needing, wanting, to a world of, I'm so tired of it. So what else is there? And you have to look inside. You have to look somewhere else. You have to ask yourself the question, what for? Why am I here? Am I just here to eat, drink, procreate, and go to parties, and get this, and get that, and get this, and then at the end of the day, goodbye? Is that all my life is worth? There must be more. Pain, unfortunately, wakes us up. It wakes us up. Hello, good morning, your life is getting shorter. Don't waste time. So, accepting pain as helpful purification and not hitting on somebody else. Most of us really do that. When we have pain, we want to blame somebody. We want to push it on somebody else. And that doesn't make us grow. It just delays the growth process. Haven't you noticed? When you're blaming all the time, it takes a lot longer to heal. When you accept responsibility, you can find a solution. Okay, I don't like this situation, like the war, Arjuna's war. I don't want to be in this war. I don't want to fight. But I have to. So either I can keep delaying the process, because sooner or later I have to protect my people, or I do it, get over it, and get it done. So, accepting pain, the quicker the better, the less blame the better. And then next, what is it? Swadhyaya, which is study of spiritual books. Why? As you think? So if you study, which time has proven over and over again, techniques that have worked, over and every day you read a little bit of the Gita, a little bit of the Bible, a little bit of this, and you read the teachings, what happens? It reminds you, oh my God, I'm really, really not this body. I'm really so taking a human experience. And then everything that happens to you that is so harsh and so painful is really so much easier to face. Because, wow, Lord Jesus says this too shall pass. And when Peter asked Lord Jesus, how many times do we forgive? And he goes, 70 by 7. Doesn't your Father in heaven do more for you every day? So, and then you realize forgiveness is the key. And then you learn to forgive. So you get these messages very clearly. And that's why you read, to remind you. I had a patient once, long ago, came to me really, really deeply, deeply depressed. His wife brought him in. And I'm the black sheep of my family, my brother is smart, every business I touch goes bad, And then I said, what's good in your life? And I said, my wife, and now she wants to leave me because she says I'm always depressed. So I go, what are you going to do about it? So what do you mean? What can I do? I said, you're going to lose. You just said to me, if you keep this way, your wife is going to leave you. And you just said to me, the only good thing in your life is your wife and your family. So what are you going to do about it? It's in your hands. He said, be happy? I said, of course. She's tired of seeing a miserable man every time she comes home. Can you blame her? So she said, but how do I get myself out of it? So I said to her, first thing you have to do is stop thinking you're the black sheep of the family. And prove, poor me syndrome, prove to yourself you're the white sheep of the family. Why are you falling in with this as you think you become? So anyways, how am I going to do it, Nellie? We spent 2 hours with him and his wife. And so I told her, you put him in deep relaxation every day and tell him he's wonderful and he's good. And she goes, but I don't feel that way. And I said, well, just try for 2-3 weeks, you know, and you come and see me twice a week. That time I was living in Gibraltar. And I said, see me twice a week and let's do this for 3 weeks, you know. Then I said, do you read? Practice one, yeah. You know, wanted to him to read something positive every day. I hate reading. So I said, look, you know, I have this little book that they produce for me called Flow with like very small articles, very simple English. You know what, take it tonight. You just read 2 lines tonight. Just 2 lines tonight. And every day, can you read 2 lines for me? He came back in the week and he had read that little booklet. And he was already smiling. I'll cut the story short. 2 years later, he's read the Gita about 5 times. He's read the Yoga Sutras, which he didn't even take the course with me. He's read, he tells me about Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda, Swami Shivananda. He's read all of that. Do you know? So, and his whole mind stuff changed. Not only that, he got a managerial job after that. You know, he ran quite a big business. Never was sent away to travel for business, and he was sent to Switzerland. So can you imagine his self-esteem? And so, as you think, you become. It was, you know, like that in my life. I've seen so many people, when they think, they change their thinking pattern. But of course, you have to do the work. He did the work by reading and studying, and of course he was reading Ramakrishna's words, Gurudev's words, to know yourself, beyond words, reading. So the mind is full of what? The highest. So Swadhyaya is the next one. And finally, we got Ishvara Pranidhanam, which is total surrender to whatever you want to call it, God, energy, and for me, not important. Let's just use the word God for convenience. Total surrender, total faith. For me, it's total faith. You know, when you have total faith in something, it works, right? Haven't you noticed in your life? When you have total faith, when you don't even have a doubt, anything you do in life, when there's no doubt, it just works. It's like magic. You don't know how it works, but it just works. Now, the moment doubt comes in, what happens? There's some obstacles that will also come in. So the moment you doubt, obstacles come. It's almost all the time we're being tested. How straight are we? How convinced are we? Our master used to say, if you have complete faith,
nothing is impossible.
Yes. And that's the surrender, the faith, you know. In the early days, it was, you know, I had a lot of fear of being alone, lots and lots of fear. So one of my, because I couldn't get over the fear myself, okay, I had a great faith there was God, always had. What that God was, I wasn't sure, you know, and there was many years to learn my version. And then I used to repeat all the time, God is with me, there's nothing to fear. God is with me, I'm not alone. My father always taught us that. God is with me, there's nothing to fear. God is with me, I'm not alone. And soon, by itself, fear of being alone left me. I love being alone, you know? Do you know, falling in love with it, you know? So many things that had so much fear, they just dropped by itself. Because I just I just hung on to that. You know, God is with me. You know, and I have this vision in my head always when I'm a little shaky in my life and especially in the early days, I would like see my master with his orange robe and the cold bottom of his hem. You know, like you hear in the Lord Jesus story when, what was it, the guard wanted, the centurion wanted his master to be healed, and he just held on to Gurudev's robe, and he was healed. He said, "Go home, you'll be healed," or something like that. And for me, that's how I see it. Okay, I'm holding on to this robe, I'm not going to let it go. And I know, with that protection, I'm fine. I just know. I know. There was no doubt. There's still no doubt. And that no doubt already lifts your mind, right? Already lifts your mind. I have no doubt. Okay, this is bad time. This is going to happen. But I have no doubt I'm going to be safe. No doubt I'm going to be safe. And that's the magic that keeps you living in that divine world, so that we don't get lost in materialism. We don't get lost. That's all. It's not that anybody is bad. There's no such thing. I don't believe anybody in this world is bad at all. I don't think it exists. I think the mind gets sick. That's all. The mind, and we need to help them correct when they need our help, if they ask. Don't go around telling people how to think, though. It doesn't work that way. Our master always said, only don't go into people's life and pry. He used to tell me, he said, "Nalanie, people need you, they will come so much easier." Sometimes we want to help so much, we can be a bit over the top. Interfere, trespass against people's space. They want you, they will come. You stay where you are. And if you're meant to have them, they'll come to you. And if you're not, somebody else will. It's really quite nice to know. There's always somebody. You're not indispensable. There's always somebody to help somebody. And that's for me so nice to know. If I can't help somebody, I know there's somebody else with a different talent. Maybe we'll go to Audrey for a massage. I'll go to Katya for a pregnancy yoga. Go to Rick for a nice walk, and he'll cheer you up with a bright orange. There's different things for different people, right? Isn't it? And Devamani will heal you with her angelic smile. There's many things. And Shanti will certainly make you laugh all day long. So, there's sometimes people need another kind of healing that is so simple. And God can appear in all those forms. You don't know which one. Sometimes it's if you say too many, very spiritual words, you frighten people off. But God is everywhere. So long as that element of love, kindness, understanding is in you, then it doesn't matter where the healing comes from for them. It's always the best for them, not what I think is the best for them, but what is the best for them. And I always love to recount Shanti's father's story, which she allows me, for those who haven't heard it. When he was dying, she said to me, "Would you come to my house and see my father?" And I asked her, "Is he ready to see me?" She said, No, he is. I told him you were coming." No, he wasn't. It was the truth. But then he became. So I go to his room, and he's very sick. He was dying of cancer, right? And he was very sad and very depressed. And so I asked Shanti if I could speak with him alone. So I said, "Are you frightened?" He said, "Yeah, I'm a little frightened of dying, and I'm not ready to die." So I go, "But you look so sad. How can I make you laugh?" He said, "Please tell my wife and my daughter not to pump me with all these religious things, because they're depressing me. They're forcing me to pray, to read this book, and to do this, and to do that, and I'm feeling like, I've never done it. I don't know how to do this. I don't want to do it. I'm getting angry." I was getting angry. So I called Shanti in. So I asked him, and I said, "So what would you like? What do you like? What would make you feel better?" And he said, "I love to laugh." So I said, that's good. Laughter is God. So what makes you laugh? Funny comedies, and it keeps me light. So I said, great. So I called him in and I said, please, your father wants to laugh. And then I told Shanti, laughing will make him happy, and if he can be happy, there's a chance of healing. For him, God is laughter. He cannot understand all this stuff. He's never done it. And I'm sick to read the Gita or to read the Sutras. Oh my God! And your mom is Jehovah's Witness, right? So lovely. It was just too much to do the yogi and too much for him. So they agreed, and isn't it amazing that when he did pass, he was in the hospital, and Shanti called me at 6 in the morning and went to the hospital. And he had a priest there, Father Paul there it was at that time. Yeah, it was so lovely. And I was there. And Shanti was by his side, and he wanted her to sing mantras. Look at that. Yeah. So she helped him go peacefully. In the end, because she didn't push herself anymore, he asked for it. It was really lovely. She did a great job, and she really helped her father to die in the highest way she could. Yeah, for me it was very beautiful, So sometimes we don't know what kind of healing. It may not be what we think, but so long as it brings them to their highest, all right? To the highest mission. It's not everybody is on the same wavelength. And it is wisdom to be very careful with how we help people and serve people. We can hurt them a lot by making them feel they're going to, he felt he was going to go to hell because he couldn't read these books. He really did. That's why he was so miserable. I'm going to go to hell. I don't. Because he loved to laugh. See how warped we get in our minds? For me, there's no hell anyway. I don't believe in hell. I think it's all heaven. I think hell is probably here. And guess what? We can convert it into heaven. Aren't we lucky? With knowledge. With knowledge, we can convert anything into the positive. And that's the magic we do have in our hands. And how can we do that? When we have this faith, Ishwara Pranidhana, and this great power that lives within all of us. And again, nobody is exempt. We all have it. All have it. I just love to quote the scriptures when it says, deep in the hearts of all there is the light of all lights. The Lord of love, no larger than, you should know this, I quote it all the time, no larger than a thumb, lives in the hearts of all. The Lord of love. I just love that way of description of the divine energy, the Lord of love. For me, I think it's the best description. And that's from the Upanishads, the Lord of love. Because I can relate to that, because when you're really in this place of love, your heart is quite expansive, isn't it? It's so inclusive. I mean, Kasia came this evening with Diego, and she was like, with a baby. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. The life that it's hard work, as children are hard work, but it's so beautiful because the love is so pure that things that you don't think you're capable of doing, like staying up all night with children or whatever, you suddenly become capable of, because the love is so unconditional. So that Lord of love, as we grow in awareness, just has more space and more space and more space and more space, and then you can love more and more and more and more. And when you can do that, it's like getting up every morning and being madly in love. Not to one particular person or one particular place, because if that leaves you, it makes you miserable, but to everything. Isn't that even much better? So, anyway, that's the scriptures. And so we were going down the, I don't know where, I was talking about Mataji, observing those 8 limbs of yoga. She lives it. And that's just the second limb, and then asanas, which you all know, which are the postures to help our body to go within. Again, we were speaking in the car today about Hatha Yoga on our way from the airport, and we were just saying, she was saying, you know, the real meaning of Hatha is to go to learn, take the body within, so you can find the peace. And in the Hatha Yoga, one should feel that silence and that presence. But we were saying today, it's become so commercial that it's just like a bunch of exercises. It'll still help you, you'll still get better, it still works, but you've kind of lost that purpose of the real purpose of asana, which is to be in touch with your spirit, in touch with that silence, in touch when you're moving. Oh my God, I can feel that peace, you know. Here, I can feel this energy center or this one. Oh, I feel this one's a bit swollen today. Something not quite right, you know. Tell me what's going on in your mind that's affecting me physically. You know, and sometimes it's not in your mind, sometimes it's karma. If there's something I have to fix, let me know. You know, you talk, you get an inner voice talking to you. So asana, and then we're pranayama breathing. And you know, well-oxygenated body keeps you young, so if you want to do it for, you know, don't go for facelifts, do pranayama. Prana, take in that energy, breathe. Breathe, just breathe in deeply. Now, also to maintain prana, it's very important to have quiet time. Because, believe it or not, quiet time builds an energy field in your body. It just builds it. It's like your cell phone, right? When you, in the olden days, you'd have to charge it. Well, we still have to charge our phones, right? Every night, yeah. You charge your phone, and you don't try not to touch it. Give it some silent time to get some energy back, right? And we're electrical. We are really electrical. The only thing is our charge is not visible. Our charge is not visible. That's the difference. But it's there. We know it. Haven't you noticed that when you do Kapalabhati or Pranayama, what do you feel here? Heat. You know, you feel heat. What's happening? Do you know what's happening? You're connecting to the source, which is everywhere. You're connecting. Now, at that point, when you're doing your breathing and you touch your head, and sometimes after satsang, I cannot touch my head. It's too much vibration. Try it, okay? Try it. It actually is really kind of like a little disturbing. It's like the channel is open. It's really wonderful. All these gifts God has given us. So when you're at that time and you feel that heat, be very careful of what you think. Because it has great effect, great energy comes. So when mind is very clear, you'll be told lots of things that you need to do with yourself to heal yourself and to serve others around you. You have lots of wonderful messages. So when you're doing your pranayama, keep that channel clear, okay? And you see your mind like it's going everywhere. No, this is a really good time. I can tap that energy. I can tap it. It's really a physical way you can tap it. Don't waste it. See, many people will do, I'm doing my pranayama. I'm thinking all kinds of stuff. So, of course, what you're doing, magnifying those thoughts. No, I'm doing pranayama for 1 minute. Just 1 minute, 3 deep breaths. And all I'm going to feel is the breath out and in, and the connection. And I love this prayer that is right here. Your friend John gave it to me. Make me an instrument of peace. I like to say that because, you know, if I say, I wish I did want this or that, be careful what you ask for. It may not be right for you. So I just say, make me an instrument of your peace. Full stop. Easy. No personal gain in it. And you know what? You're very safe. Oh, make me an instrument so I can be this, so I can be important, so I can be famous. Uh-oh. Easy up, easy down. Just peace. You know, be really careful what you ask for. So that's a really good time when you're breathing to do a simple mantra like that. Make me an instrument of your peace. And then you're led. You know, we always ask, give me answers, but we never listen to the answers because we're so busy. We say, give me answers, but we want the answer to this question that we want, and we want to hear the answer that we want to hear. So the great energy is trying to give us another answer, but we don't want it. We keep doing this to the answer. Don't want it, because that's not the answer I want, but you are hearing it. You hear it, because you know, because you hear it. You actually hear the other answer. No, but it's not what I want. And it comes again. No, but it's not what I want. And haven't you noticed? Till you have to succumb. You can delay that outcome for years in a lifetime. Or you can learn to listen and quickly overcome this problem. Up to us again. All up to us. Don't you think we're so free? So sometimes I don't like to be so free, so best to ask, make me an instrument of your peace. So the pranayama. And then the next one's pratyahara, sense control. Yeah. Sense control. Are your senses always wanting, I want to eat this, I want this, I want that, I want that. You know, I need to touch, I need to feel. Oh, Nalanie, I don't have a boyfriend. Oh, Nalanie, I don't have a woman in my life. You have one. If you have the desire, you will have one. But maybe now is the time for you to learn, to grow. You're always focusing on that man or that woman. When are you going to find yourself? So just think, God is giving you some quiet time. Great, how much can you do in this quiet time? What can you learn in this time? How can you grow? You just have to look after your quiet time. How delicious is that? You know? And then we have the other end of the spectrum, people who have somebody with them. When can they leave me? I want to be alone. I don't want this person. And I'm trying to tell them that, you know, learn to see the good in everyone. You're in this relationship also to learn something for a reason. And I love Gurudev's answer, which he reiterated the other day. You know, when I asked him many years ago, so many people come and ask me this question. You know, should I stay? Should I go? Should I stay? Should I go? What do I tell them, Gurudev? Yes, you tell them, if a pan is too hot, will you ask, should I hold it? Or won't? Or will you just drop it? You'll just drop it if it's too hot. You won't even ask the question, should I stay? Should I hold the pot and burn your hand? You won't. You tell them that. So obviously the fact that they're still asking the question, the pot isn't too hot yet. Otherwise they're gone. They would have gone. They've done it. So that's what I tell them. Good answer. Don't you think that's a really clever answer? You know, I think that's one of the best answers that he gave me, so I could tell people that, you know. And because if you tell them go, then they'll blame you. And you tell them don't go, they will also blame you. Oh, but Nalanie, you told me this. Did I? I never said that. I just said if the pot is too hot, you let it go. I never told you not to leave or don't leave. You have said, 1 week, I want to go, I want to leave, I want to leave. The second week, oh, but you know, poor thing, I want to stay, I want to stay, I want to stay. And it really is up to you. It's your choice. You have to decide. You know? But don't spend one whole life with that one question. Oh, how traumatic. Isn't it traumatic? Entire lifetime gone. You know
Maybe it's the only question.
Should I stay or should I go? You know that song, right? Should I stay or should I go? You know, I just think if you're there and it's not burning, try and make light, try and make happy, try and make things work, try and make things beautiful. Try and make light. Don't take yourself so seriously. Don't take people so seriously. You know, we all have faults. We all have little scars of pain from our past. What can we do? We're human. So we would like to be forgiven our trespasses. So why don't we forgive those who trespass against us as well? You know? And if you're in a relationship, I think it is important to keep that in mind. But if it really doesn't work, You know? Just like you have another body in another lifetime, sometimes you just need to let it go. You know, when it's so harsh, it disturbs so many people for years. I see parents get disturbed, grandparents get disturbed, because one couple always fighting, loving, fighting. Whole family lifetime is disturbed. 10 lives spoiled. Either you make it work or you don't, but don't spoil 10 lives. Do you know what I mean? You don't have that right. So if it's easier to walk away and make everybody peaceful, then just do it. But you have to think how many people you're affecting in your life. It's just not about what I want. And that's something we have to really all look at. You know? Be considerate of those around us. Fine, if you want to ruin your life, your choice. But we don't have the right to disturb other people's lives. It's not ours. And that's where karma comes in, right? Because as you sow, you reap. We don't have that right. And if we can't handle a situation, you can't handle it. Why do you always have to be so brave? Say, I'm a coward, full stop, finish. If you made a mistake, you'll learn to be brave. So it's all a learning process. And I really believe, as Lord Jesus said, we're forgiven 17 times 7, if not more. So better to find some peace than to live an entire life with regret and anger. So make peace. But you can't make peace unless you make peace with you. So start there. Before you make any big decisions, work on yourself. That's always my answer to people. You want to make a big decision, should I stay or should I go? My advice would be, start with yourself. What do you really need to fix in yourself? Only when you've worked on yourself, what's disturbing you and what do you say that causes trouble, only if you've done all that and you sincerely see you've done your best, then you can make a very sensible decision. And that's when you know. And you know what? How you'll know? The peace that follows, both ways, either way. There will be a peace. So that's Pratyahara, sense control. And today the most common problem is in relationships. So that's why I'm mentioning this, you know. So the next one, who knows? Dharana. Concentration. Learn to concentrate. Focus. Concentrate. Haven't you noticed whatever you do with concentration comes out well? When you focus on something, whether it's cooking or cleaning or gardening, you know, it comes out so quickly, very quickly. When you're rushing in the morning and you're worried about being late, have you noticed how many things fall, drop, etc., and you become late? But when you get up in the morning and you're rushing, but you are focused, okay, you know, the way when I'm late and I have a little time to do a lot of stuff, I sit and go, okay, this outfit, this in the bed, and it takes literally 30 seconds, shower, 5 minutes, this, wash my hair, another 7, fine, okay, go Nalanie, and it's a challenge, and it's like, be quiet in the rush. Do you know, be quiet in the rush. It really helps when you don't talk. When you're rushing and quiet and focused. Then you just go, this, wardrobe, iron, done, finished, and everything is done within 12 minutes. In fact, I was talking to my grandchildren the other day, because they were trying to get ready, Granny, you know, can I wait? I said, you know, let's have a competition. Oh, we know why you're saying that, because you just want us to be ready. You know? We're no longer 4 years old, you count to 10 and we're going to be ready. I said, no, I'm doing it to teach you something. I said, you know, once Granddad said to me, he said to me, oh, you know, I'd really like to go here. Can you, but you know, you still need to wash your hair. I said, give me 12 minutes. I said, you know, I washed my hair, dried my hair, changed my clothes, put my makeup in 12 minutes. And you know, I felt good. I could do it. Because I was totally focused. I told him that. Really, Gran? I said, yeah, it made me feel good. And I was ready and happily and quickly. And I didn't waste any time. And so then they went and did it. This was on Sunday. And I said, how do you feel? You're right, Gran. We feel good. So the focusing dharana in everyday life, not just when you sit down and you meditate. You know, because we think concentration, sit down, concentrate. And sometimes really that is the worst time. Because you sit down, there's so many da-da-da-da-da, so many thought patterns. Sometimes it's quite easy when you're working to practice concentration. I found that that helps me. You know, like today Angela was telling me she can spend hours in the garden. You know, hours and hours and hours focusing. She's telling me all about what to do with my garden. So much knowledge of all from focusing. And this morning, I don't know, they cleared my fountain, they did this, you know, and 15 minutes and so many things were done. Because she loved what she was doing. She focused, and it was like a meditation. Do you see? It all works like magic in daily life, not just sitting. We have to live in the world. We have work to do. But let us do it purely, efficiently, lovingly, and while she's doing it for love, so even more, right? She wanted to do it because she loved me. So, do you see? And then everything has another energy. And it's almost like you're in a different time frame, isn't it? When you do something with love, time becomes warped. Have you noticed? Notice. Notice. It's really funny how time becomes warped for you when you're in this frame of mind, the focus. So that's dharana. And then dhyana, meditation, comes of itself after a long time of working with the mind. And samadhi, conscious, you know, super conscious realization, whatever you want to call it. I don't even think that. When I feel one, I feel one. If you think so much, oh, people, I want to get enlightened. Shanti, can you shut that? It's getting very hot. You know, people go, I want to get enlightened. I'm enlightened. You know, Mataji, have you ever heard Gurudev say that? Never. Never. So many people go, oh, you know, Nalanie, I'm enlightened. Oh, good for you. Good, I'm really happy. That's how you feel. But then why you tell me you're unpeaceful and you have this problem and that? You're enlightened. You're enlightened, right? You can see everything, right? I would think. Otherwise, what's the point of being enlightened and then you're still fussing about this and arguing about this and, you know, this is, you know, my school, yoga school is better than your yoga school. You want to call that enlightenment? I don't want it. That looks more like jealousy to me. Do you see? We fool ourselves with words. So better not even to go there. You know, our master used to say, you know, you just think good thoughts, fill your heart with love. And then, when you are ready, God will use you. And then you feel the love and the consciousness. So it really makes it very simple for us. So simple. Do good, be good. And then we live in the world and we feel like princes and princesses because we can watch our lives being in it and out of it. When it's too much, you take a little ride in your silence, and it's a place, home of comfort that you can just go to. You know, a quiet place you can go to when it gets too much. And then when you get strong, you come back again. And you can play, in seconds you can do that. After a while you train your mind, it's really, you know, your seconds. You can just go and come back, go and come back. That's the gift. And go means go within, really. I really don't know, actually, to be quite honest. It goes somewhere, I don't know where. But, you know, it's that feeling of freedom. Freedom, because our emotions keep us. To say in the Upanishads, it says, when the noose that strangles the neck is loosened, noose of desires that strangle the neck is loosened, the mortal becomes immortal. And really it is like that, you know? It's the news, we do it to ourselves. So all that, and this is what I you know, that is why I admire Mataji so much, because I see in her all these great qualities, living, walking like in my master, and it's just so nice to be around that kind of strength, that kind of energy. So for me, she's a real gift, and see, you inspired me to talk about something I wasn't even expecting to talk about today. You know, I'll probably introduce her again on Thursday, but you know, Mataji is 82. 82? Are you 82, Mataji? 81?
83 in April.
Oh, okay, 83 in April. And my goodness, she gets up 4 o'clock every morning and a 5 o'clock meditation, and then before meditation, many times she'll go to the dormitory, she plays the violin beautifully, by the way, she's a music and song teacher, plays the violin to wake everybody else up. And then she'll do a hatha yoga. And then she works at guest services. And then she works at the school and teaches the school children. And then she will visit different people in the ashram, like Alma and this one and that one, see everybody as well. And then at lunchtime, this is, okay, lunchtime now, she's reading Beyond Words for all of us to listen while everybody's eating, and she's reading, and when she finishes reading, then she will eat. And then. And she was just saying she doesn't sleep till 11:30. And we complain we're tired. So, obviously I have the deepest admiration of somebody who lives life to their fullest. It's really quite wonderful to see. So, I hope that when I'm 83, if God allows me to live that long, that I can be like you, Mataji.
Even better just to be who you are.
Love it, Mataji. I love that. So where are we in the Gita? We have a few minutes for the Gita.
Page 58, number 12.
Page 58, number 12. Okay. In order to succeed, people worship the gods, devas. Success soon comes by actions in the world. I'm just going to read the next two because it all goes together. By variously distributing nature's qualities, gunas and activities, karma, throughout humanity, I thus created the 4 castes, mental tendencies. Though I am the author of it all, know that I am not the doer, and I never change. So all he's saying here is, in order to succeed, people worship the gods. Success soon comes by actions in the world. Now, many times, when people want to succeed, right? They will pray to all the different gods, dear God, give me more money, and they will do this, let me do the Gayatri mantra so I can have a child, let me do, and success comes. When you pray like that, it does come. I've seen it happen with people. I've seen many people, I'm going to do the Gayatri mantra every day, or the Om Trambakam, I want to get pregnant, and it soon comes. But, with that success sometimes comes quite a lot of problems. Many people, like I've told the story about this woman, prayed God for this beautiful house. She stressed her husband so much to build this beautiful house. 2 months after it was built, came home, sat down, had a heart attack.
That often happens.
Yeah, you've seen that? Yeah?
It happens very often.
Yeah, it's really, and then she had to leave the house because she was in an Arab country, no longer safe on her own, So this beautiful house that caused her husband his life, which she herself said later on, sorry. Yeah. And this beautiful house which caused her husband his life was no longer any use to her. So, and she prayed, she really did pray, And I've seen this. I've seen people go to churches praying for something. They get it. But you know why? Success soon comes. Because really the intention is already there and things happen in the world quickly when your intention is there. But isn't it better to go to the top? To ask for the highest thing that has no more karmic actions and reactions? It's like I said early on with the pranayama, better to ask, make me an instrument of your peace. Because sometimes with wealth and things like that, I've watched people change. How many good relationships I have seen in my life. Start off both partners really very loving, and one partner will make a lot of money or get a high position, and suddenly the ego will come up, and then they start becoming popular, so they start flirting, and then they start having affairs, because all the men or women are after that, because now they're popular, successful, and with that success that they wanted came the destruction of their lives. Have you seen that? I've seen it so many times. So they got what they wanted in the world, right? Good people, they pray, they work hard, but you know, like I said earlier, be careful what you ask for. You know, the gods are good. Ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock and the door will be open for you. But know what to ask for, okay? Ask, and that's wisdom. And I'd like to read Gurudev's translation here, because he always explains things really very beautifully. You know, electricity provides a good example. Electricity comes in thousands of volts. We can't approach it directly. It has to be transformed by step-down transformers. When it comes to our home, it comes at 110 volts. Then, even if we get a shock, it won't hurt so badly. Suppose we say, I'm rich and my house must have a bigger voltage. I only want the big current. Then we will have bigger shocks too. With 110, we can do certain things. But if we want more, we need more voltage. If we want to cook with a microwave, probably we'll need 220. The greater the purpose, the higher the voltage. God's power is also like that. It takes time to reach the highest one. So, all these little desires make you realize that you want the highest one. But the highest one takes a little bit more time. And when you are ready, then you can receive that high voltage. So like I said, Gurudev said, purify your mind first, and then when you are ready, God will use you. Safe method. Better than get electrocuted. How many people we see get so excited when they learn something new, a bit of meditation, and they think they're so great, and then they get burned. They suffer, It takes time. Give yourself time. Gurudev always said, Rome was not built in a day. So don't get so stuck on the little things. Just know that whatever you have is where you should start from. This is where you are. What can you do with your voltage? Now, if you want higher voltage and you're working at a lower place, say, I want God, and then you're swearing and you're hurting people and you're jealous and you're doing all the wrong things, your voltage is high. How can you receive the highest? You cannot. If you're practicing greed and you're working on a low voltage and these people say, but I want more, but I believe in this energy, etc. How can you receive it when you're working on a very low voltage? You cannot receive it. Don't deceive yourself also, okay? And the next one, it just says, here Lord Krishna is just talking about nature. He said everything is distributed perfectly. Nature is really quite perfect. Gunas, it's We fluctuate between the gunas. The gunas are properties of nature. Do you remember what they are? Rajas, activity, you want something, some action to receive something else. Tamas, dullness, And then sattva, which we all try to reach the state of peace. And nature, life, our moods, ourselves, our children, we all work on these 3 states. Even food has these 3 states. And when we go further on into the Gita, it explains all that. And so he says, all life, when you look at it, even the atom, electron, proton, and neutron, right? So he says, this is the way it's made. So realize that the field in which we work in has these 3 qualities. Understand the field you work in. And also the caste system. Now, the caste system in India has been totally misunderstood. Really, there were 4 caste systems. The first were the intellectuals or the Brahmins. They were people who were supposed to give spiritual knowledge to the world. Spiritual knowledge, right? And then there are other people born, and they were the Kshatriyas, they were people to protect the world. The Arjunas, the warriors, to protect the world. Then there was the Vaishnavas, which were business people, to give people business and movement, and they were supposed to feed the Brahmins and look after the Sudras, who were the workers. Because of our karma, we are some born to working class, some to high intellectual priestly caste, some into warrior caste, and some into business class, right? Natural order of the world. And where we are is where we're meant to be to find that divine power. As Mataji said, better to be who you are. It doesn't mean that just because you're a Sudra, a worker, you can't find God. Or you're a Kshatriya, as Arjuna, he was a warrior and he didn't want to fight, but his only way to find God was to do this karma that was given to him to save his people. So this is what it's just basically saying. The earth has an order. You don't realize it, but if you look, isn't it amazing how 24 hours the earth moves on its axis? Don't you think it's phenomenal? I think it's, who does that? Don't you see the planets are where they are? Who puts them in place? How is this possible without an intellect? Because otherwise there would be chaos. There's obviously some kind of intellect working. Otherwise, how could everything be so precise? 24 hours, sun, moon. Wow, I just love to think of that. And so, I wonder if tomorrow we didn't get tonight, or we didn't get tomorrow. How does it work? It's really, who is doing it? Who's making my heart beat? Who's making my heart beat? Who's telling me my moment of death? Some intelligence is there. It's proven. I mean, look at the earth on its axis turning around. I'm like, quite cool. It's quite cool. Isn't it? It's really quite cool when you think about it. It's mind-boggling, And so all these things, Krishna is saying, God, the universe, I'm the author of it. It's all there. It's all there. I know it, but you do not. And that's the problem. That's why you're confused. Because you haven't realized, you haven't seen there is an order, you haven't accepted. So, I'm there, but you're not. I know it, but you don't. And he says, even though, he says, look at this, though I am the author of it all, know that I am not the doer, and I never change. So, this is interesting. I am the author of all. I wrote it all. But I am not the doer, and I never change. I am not the doer. Who's the doer? Through where does this energy come through us? Everything, right? That I never changes. That I never changes, but it's the author of all. Doesn't do anything. So you want to know how your book is read, get in touch with the author, make me an instrument of thy peace. Because you have to do it to see it. When you work with that flow, you get your answers, what your mission in life is, what you need to do. And when you go away, when you're in touch with that flow, and you rebel, it doesn't let you. I'm guaranteeing you that, because I tried to rebel being a teacher so many times, and it just didn't work. I did not plan to be a teacher, by the way. So, and I'm not. I'm really a student, always a student. But it's odd how things happen. It's really odd. And many times go, can I just have a holiday and go away, go away? Can't. It's really quite odd. And it's not because I don't want, it's the laziness and human nature or sometimes you just feel that way. What can you do? You're human, can I just have a night off or can I just do this? But then I can't because there's no peace. If I did that, I have no peace. So I know I wasn't born to be lazy. I would have no peace if I am. Do you see? I want my peace. So I have to, so I'm guided forced almost to do this, and guess what? I always feel wonderful afterwards. So why do we resist it? Human nature, always want to go tamas, And when you watch it and you understand this, and like this sloka, then you laugh and you go, oh well, I'm just in this mood at the moment. It's just a mood, this mood will pass.